All right, so let's get to college football. Again, I showed Jim in our Instagram a little preview of today's show, all my leans that I might give. There's like 35 on that list, but let's quickly get to the game tonight. It's going to be a pass for me. It's an interesting game. Troy against South Alabama. Obviously, Troy beat LSU, and that was not a fluke. They dominated them in the trenches. They didn't get out. They got outgained, but only by a little bit. Troy really held their own, and they're a quality team. And the scary thing about Troy is that they were expected to be better offensively this year than what they've shown. And at some point, I think that against weaker defenses, their passing offense is going to make a substantial improvement. So even though it is a little bit of a letdown spot for Troy, there's also some signs that indicate to me that Troy is going to get better going forward. On the other hand, this is a big rivalry game. No matter how bad or good either of these teams are every year, it tends to be a close game. So for that reason, I would lean South Alabama. I would have a slight lean to the over, except that, South Alabama's offense is pretty stalled out. They're having problems moving the ball. They're not gelling at all, which could change here. I would have a slight lean to the over and probably a bit of a stronger lean to the Troy team total over, which would be about, what would that be for? Maybe 32-ish. So that's a little bit up there. But so the point is that I have about 75 or 80 bets in college football this week, and this game does not have one of them.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. Silvers has 2 touchdown passes all year. I mean, we expected more. Jordan Chun looks great. Now, South Alabama fires their offensive coordinator 2 weeks ago. It's a program in disarray. 16.5 in a rivalry game is uncomfortable. But clearly, South Alabama is in disarray. I'm not making a pick on this one either.
Yes. So if you gave me a free pick on it, I would probably take a shot with the over at 49, expecting a South Alabama to make some improvements offensively and Troy's passing game to unexpectedly be significantly better. So if you want to lean on that one, the over with 49 would be my lean, but I'm definitely not adding that onto my official record. All right, so let me just decide. So far, I've given, with my weekly picks in college football, I have given, let me just go over what I've given. I've given 8 so far. Let me just find it. I've given Mississippi State minus 22. It's now 24. I've given UCLA plus 1.5. It's now -1. So, of course, I get the lines when I give them. I also gave the Rutgers, Illinois under 48, UConn Temple under 61.5. Really liking that one. UNLV Air Force under 67.5. That one's lukewarm, but I gave it. Ole Miss -3, Akron plus 14.5, and Bowling Green plus 9.5. Those are all plays that I gave. Now, looking over, I don't even know where to start. All the plays that I'm freaking leaning here. Toledo, Central Michigan. Did I give that one? Yeah, I give Toledo, Central Michigan under is definitely a play that I am leaning towards, and I will definitely add on that one right now. Let me just find that number. I got it at 60.5. Let's see where it is right now. Obviously, Toledo has an offense that can be very powerful, but Central Michigan is dealing with all those injuries offensively, and I think it's going to be a modest scoring game, as Toledo's last game against Eastern Michigan was. Brent from BetDSI told us the Sharps bet the over in that one, and that spooked me because I like the under, and I didn't give it. I just bet it privately, and the game went way under, and I was like, why am I so swayed by what? I'm still, after all these years, Jim the Bag, I'm still swayed by when someone tells me that the quote-unquote Sharps bet something. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, God, I'm wrong.
It's so funny how that works.
Oh. Yeah. But they're wrong. You know what I mean? The Sharps this year, 50-50 according to Brent. All right, so I'm going to take the under on this one, 60.5 minus 110 or 60. Or no, you wager as 61. We'll take that one. You wager under 61 minus 110. Toledo, Central Michigan under 61 minus 110. That's an official pick. Let me just scan down my look at this list of shit here. Jim in the bag. Beautiful. Yeah, BC Louisville. I'm thinking that might be a lower scoring game. Louisville definitely needing to save their year somehow. I think that BC is going to try to slow the game down, and Louisville will try to play better defensively. Lamar Jackson, obviously very scary, but so I'm leaning under. I'm going to look into that a little bit later. Beautifully. Only a fucking sick gambler would look at like a list of like on a text document of like 50 college football teams with a number next to it and say, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
I think it's important for me not to get in the way of Pistol Pete's college football right now. He's so hot. So.
Yeah. All right. So I'm also thinking about the under in Missouri, Georgia. I know the Missouri game against Kentucky went over, and I was on the wrong side of that one. But Georgia, obviously, a vicious defense, and I think they're just going to want to get a win and move on. So I'm definitely leaning Missouri, Georgia under. I guess I'm going to have to look into that one a little bit more. Definitely leaning up San Jose State, Hawaii under 64. San Jose State obviously can't stop anyone defensively, but Hawaii has not been explosive offensively, and just feels like that's a little bit too high. You know what? I will give that one. I will give that one. San Jose State, Hawaii under. Let me find where that one is. It's all right. Okay. The Greek has 64.5. Although market wide it's 63.5, so that might be a stale number. So I'll either take 63.5 minus 107 or 64.5 minus 110 at the Greek if that is not a stale number by SBR odds here, and I will check right after the show. But I will take the under San Jose State, Hawaii. I got 64. Also leaning under in Washington, Arizona State. Obviously, Washington is this is a tough spot for them. They know that going into Arizona can be a trappy situation, so I think they're going to try to play a bit of a conservative game plan and clamp down on defense and get the win and get the hell out of there. And what the hell? I'll give that one as well. Washington, Arizona State. Let me find that one under. Yeah. Ooh, wow. 62. BetOnlineSportsBetting.ag. So that one's gotten bet up a little bit. That makes me nervous, but I'll take it anyway. Under 62 minus 110.
Loshak wants to know from you what is going on with Oregon State.
That's a game that I definitely have to look into because I will admit that I bet Colorado on the opening line, and I got 12.5, and it's now down to about 10.5 or 11. So that is some concerning line movement right there in favor of Oregon State. Colorado coming off a loss, and they have obviously some serious weapons on offense. And Oregon State, as we know, has been terrible all season long. So, I'm surprised by the line movement and concerned. I bet it at 12.5. It's now down to 10.5 or 11. We have seen line move. You know what I did, Jim, on the Saturday show? I like Virginia. I was all ready to give them at minus 2.5. And when we came into the Saturday show, they were +1. And I was like, wow, there's a huge line move against me. But you know what I did? I gave them anyway. You know what happened? Victory. They won, of course. Victory. So these line moves don't necessarily mean, look, I'm going to have to look into it more. I already have my bet at 12.5. It's now 10.5 or 11, loose skunt. And now I am. By the way, when you say that name, to keep it non-vulgar, you put a huge pause. You say it Lou Skunt, okay?
I can do that.
Don't fall into the trap that he set up for you where you combine the two words.
So he doesn't understand what's going on. They lose their coach and the line moved in their favor?
You're right. Lou Skunt, I completely agree with you. I'm going to look into this a little bit more. The line move is concerning, but I'm definitely not convinced that is the right line move there. First of all, we'll see where it closes. I'm on Colorado, and we will see. I'll have a lot more to say. Obviously, Big Man and I will talk about that one at length on the Saturday show, depending on how the line moves. But it's definitely an interesting line move there, and I still like Colorado despite the line moves. All right, so I've thrown on that Washington, Arizona State under, which concerns me. I was also leaning Arizona State on that one. Tennessee minus 2.5. I'm definitely leaning, but I have to look at that a little bit more just because Tennessee has been. I mean, Tennessee, we know for years they play up to their good competition and down to their bad competition. So whenever they're, a small home favorite against a beatable team, those are spots where you want to bet them, despite the fact that they've looked so underwhelming in their last few games. But I have to look at that one a little bit more. Leaning Texas A&M +3, leaning Arkansas State -19. But I'll have to look into that. Missouri, Georgia, I really want to take that under, but I'll look into it a little bit more before I make a final decision on that one. Definitely leaning under in the Arkansas-Alabama game. I think that that one is going to be modest scoring, and I'm going to have to look into that one a little bit as well. But that's definitely a lean. Again, I said that I was leaning Idaho at +13. I guess I'm going to have to look into that one a little bit more. But ultimately I'll wind up giving a lot of these leans like tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. But Wyoming, Utah State, I like the over in that one. I think that Utah State's offense should be somewhat productive here against Wyoming, and Wyoming with that quarterback. It's weird. In college football, a lot of times, like NFL prospect quarterbacks play at crappy colleges. Like, Drew Brees was at Southern Miss, Ben Roethlisberger, Miami, Ohio.
Look at Wentz.
Carson Wentz was an FCS, right? And so this, Wyoming's quarterback was projected to be a number 1 pick. And I'm just like, okay, why didn't Alabama take him? Why didn't what's like a crappy low level? Why didn't Kansas State take him? You know what I mean?
Nobody wanted him. It was it's wild seeing him rise.
Yeah, so I like the over on that one, and I will take that one. Let me just find that one. I bet it at 49, and let's see where it is right now. It's still 49. 48.5 at BetOnlineSportsBetting.ag. So I'll take that one over 48.5 minus 110 at BetOnlineSportsBetting.ag, Wyoming and Utah State. Again, leaning Georgia State. Definitely leaning Houston, Tulsa under 64, and I will give that one as well. Let me find that one. That's one that I feel confident enough in right now to give. Under 64 minus 107. I've been pretty good with these Tulsa totals all year long. In the beginning, I was betting them on the overs when the sharps were betting the unders, and I was cashing with them. This one I like the under 64 minus 107 at Pinnacle. Houston, Tulsa. Sorry, we're going too fast, but this is, look, I mean, this is what happens if you put, 120, college football teams and people cap the whole card. It's going to be chaotic like this, right? I'm leaning Kansas for sure. I'm leaning the over in Eastern Michigan Army. Going to have to look at that one a little bit further. And that's about it. All right. So what have I given? I've added on, and I'm also leaning the under in the Purdue-Wisconsin game, but that's another one I have to look into a little bit more. So I've given, what did I give? The under in Toledo, Central Michigan. I gave the under in Houston, Tulsa. I gave the under in San Jose State, Hawaii. I gave the under in Washington, Arizona State. I gave the over in the Wyoming, Utah State game. And I think that's it, right? I didn't give anything else. So I guess I'm adding 5 more plays, and I might wind up. But I mean, why would I not give all these plays? I'm hitting in the upper 50s, Jim. Yeah. And like 20, 30, 50.
Strike while the iron's hot.
All right. So those are 5 plays that I've added on. Now I got 13 overall in college football. I'll definitely be adding on more tomorrow and Friday and Saturday as I do more research. But as of right now, those are the only 5 that I will add. And that's it for a college football today, Jim.